Welcome to The Passion Pod with your host, Chris Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the feature presentation.
Season 1, Episode 6.
Welcome back, friends. Today, I'll likely be tripping over my words all episode long because I'm just too starstruck. I can't believe it, but our guest is the stunningly beautiful, badass businesswoman and incredibly successful salon owner of Cuttin Up Salon, located in Platteville, Wisconsin, Amber Podstawa.
What?
So I know your schedule's already booked out for years to every celebrity worth mentioning, but if anyone does want to get a hold of you, what's the best form of contact?
The best way to contact us is to call the salon, which is 608-348-4247. But if you're cool, you can probably text me. That's just what friends do. But I prefer people calling. That's usually the best. If you can't call us, you can always message our Facebook for appointments as well.
So you grew up on a farm. When did you start taking off the overalls and having an interest in hair?
Well, I grew up around hair. My mom is one of the owners of our salon. She's owned it or started it 26 years ago. And I've always liked it. I did a lot of stuff on my friends in high school, like updos, stuff like that for homecomings, proms, and that sort of thing.
Do they pay you for that?
No. No. But, you know, it was fun to dabble around with that. I went to UW Platteville for a year, decided, I don't know what I'm doing. This is dumb. I don't even like this stuff. I mean, it was interesting.
Was it just generals and stuff you were taking?
I liked psychology, which goes along with hairstyling, but I didn't want to do extra schooling, and I really didn't want to be a therapist or anything. So I decided to quit and go into cosmetology school at Capri, which is in Iowa. And, you know, very thankful for my mom's support. She did not pressure me into anything. She's just like, if you know, I don't know why you're not going to school for hair. You're awesome at it. Just do it. And I was like, you're right. I don't know. So, yeah, I started school in October of 2004, graduated in 2006, March 2006. And I've been working at Cuttin Up ever since.
So did you work at Cuttin Up before you went to college then?
Yes, I was a receptionist there for my mom, you know, mainly for like wedding parties, prom, homecoming, that sort of thing. But I'd always been around hair.
Sure.
And really enjoyed watching people create awesome looks and that sort of thing.
So you didn't get the special treatment of being a stylist when you were like 17 or anything?
No.
Working at the salon?
Nope.
When did you first start being a stylist? Was it after college then?
Yeah. Yep. You can't do it until you're done with school. And I went to school in Iowa. You need 2,100 hours, at least when I went to school, to graduate. Then you have to take state boards. And in Wisconsin, it's a written and a practical exam. So we took that, and then I started working at the salon.
Well, it's a little bit different of like a trajectory than I had to take, because I went to college for pre-business and did really well and dropped out because I'm like, this is kind of pointless. I either sell stuff or I don't sell stuff, kind of one or the other. And then I worked my way up through sales for quite a while through different companies. Last companies I worked for were Verizon Wireless and Hellsberg Diamonds. And I just kind of like found that didn't really fit me. That's not really what I wanted to be doing. Mm-hmm. I like talking to people, but I guess I wasn't involved in an industry that I believed in. So that's when I kind of transitioned into like, whatever, let's just do it. And I opened up the skateboard shop. You know, it's the same type of work that I was doing before, but I had enough confidence in myself and I wanted to be in an industry that I believed in. But it's not like I went to school for it.
Makes it hard to sell things too when you don't really believe in them or care in them.
Yeah, I think so. So when was the last time that your hair was its natural? Well, what is your natural hair color for that matter? Oh,
well, it's a dark, I'd say level 5, which means nothing to you guys,
nope.
But a dark brown with a little bit of gray mixed in there because I'm 30, almost 35. So
you get gray by 35? I'm scared.
Yeah, I mean, when kids, they kind of do that to you. So
I mean, my oldest is older than yours, so that means by 34 I'm gonna have gray hair.
Well. I can rock that. But yeah, no, I haven't had normal hair since middle school.
I've always seen you with blonde. Well, blonde and then like unicorn colors attached. But.
Yeah. It all started when I was in middle school, and my friends were spraying Sun-In in their hair because that was a big thing back in the 90s. And my mom's like, do not spray that Sun-In in your hair. It's going to look horrible. And it just lightens your hair when you're out in the sun. So, of course, I did it because that's what you do. When you're in middle school, you defy your parents. And sprayed it in, and it got really blonde. And then when the summer was over, then it started growing out, and it had this nice, like, big line of outgrowth that was dark, and it looked terrible. My mom punished me by making me, keep it in. And I said, well, joke's on you because you're a hairstylist and I have this janky hair. So basically, I started getting highlights after that because she knew I was right. So yeah, I've probably been coloring my hair since 1996. I know, it makes me sound old, huh?
96 was a great year.
Were you born in 96?
So I bet you're going to get a whole lot more business coming up now with all the highlighting stuff, because I've noticed the Marshall Mathers like blonde hair, tips or whatever for guys has come back. Have you been having a lot of clients coming in looking for that? Just bringing in a picture of Eminem from, 1999?
Not a lot. It's a smaller town, but...
So they're behind on the trends, but it's coming.
Yeah. I mean, the mullets are coming back. That's an actual thing. I'm not just saying that. That's an actual thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I see the trends early because I got high school kids in my store all the time, high school, middle school kids, and they're in the big city of Eau Claire. But I've been noticing scrunchies are back. That's kind of ridiculous. I've been noticing all the cargo shorts and stuff are coming back, and polo and Nautica.
Oh, those never went out?
It's sure. Yeah, well, your husband doesn't know that, but
right, I know.
Other people do. So that actually makes me think of a funny question. Of all the different like makeups or piercings or, whatever hair stuff that you've done, which one is the most ridiculous that sticks out to you?
Oh, God. Like that I've done on people?
Well, how about both? The most ridiculous you've seen in your salon, and then what's the most ridiculous that you've done? Because your brother, right? He likes his sweet mullet.
My brother's had a sweet mullet for like 10 years because he can, and he's an artist and whatever. He doesn't care. Yeah, I've done some cool mullets with lightning bolts and stuff. One of my friends got a mullet right now. He's going to perm the back because his hair's straight, and straight mullets aren't the best unless you gel them up, and that's more of a Euro mullet. But I don't know. My siblings are probably two of my best clients as far as creativity because they will literally let me do anything they want. I do some crazy stuff on my sister's hair. Basically, if there's a trend or color I want to try or like a weird pattern, I can do it on her.
She lets you. She's just a trial for you.
Well, when you're not paying, you do what the stylist wants. But no, my siblings both are. They're very alternative, so I can do a lot of cool stuff, and I love doing the bright colors. That's my thing. So try as much as I can to do anything that's kind of out of the norm. I know she really wants that holographic hair.
Well, like iridescent looking thing.
It's like I don't know, prismatic maybe.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
We'll see if I feel like doing that. It's going to be like probably 7-hour hair color. So
for free?
For free, but it's all for me. It's like it gets me to step out of my box and try new things. So I enjoy it when I have time, for sure.
So straight out of college, you became a stylist at your mom's salon. When did you kind of take over as like owner? Where are you at with all that stuff now? Was that what you always wanted to do?
I never actually really envisioned myself being an owner because I'm not businessy. I'm good with clients. I'm good with creative stuff. I can order. I do all that sort of thing. I do the social media, but businessy things aren't really my forte. But my mom kind of talked to me, and she's just like, I think you should think about buying into the business. We've been here, 26 years now. I'm not even sure how long I've been an owner. I was a partial owner for a while with my mom and now I'm a full owner with my mom. So I think it's probably been at least 5 or 6 years since I've been a full owner with my mom. And I honestly could not do it without her. She is my guidance. She pushes me to do things. We work very well as a team. It's amazing. Like She does all the stuff I hate.
For now.
For now.
Yeah.
Someday I'm going to have to step that up, but it works out really nicely. Us as a team. We also have my cousin working there, and she's a manager. So that helps too. She's, they kind of keep me in check, and I keep them in check, and I push them in the creative way. Maybe my mom pushes me more towards, okay, like, you got to get down to business, figure out how to do this sort of thing. So it's great. It's a give and take, and we work very well together.
I think that's a great support system. I think that's really lucky to have, honestly, because when I opened my store, there were a lot of naysayers, and not that all my friends and family said that I couldn't do it, but nobody was really a helpful resource. Like, nobody had any idea what to do any more than me. So I kind of just had to figure it out. And I lost my ass on a few different investments that I, got this kind of inventory or whatever that just didn't do well. And I didn't have that, I guess, guidance to put me in the right direction right away. I kind of just had to learn from mistakes the hard way. And it worked out, eventually fine. But that was a fairly scary thing to do when I quit my jobs and decided, we'll see if people even want to drive to this side of town to where my store is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's terrifying regardless. You don't know. You're like, am I cut out for this? When I first went to cosmetology school, like the first 2 days were incredibly hard. It was things that I still don't love doing.
Sure.
I do them.
Which was what, like mud masks or something?
No, we learned like cornrowing and braiding the first day. I'm like,
you do what? A lot of cornrows?
No. Why are we learning this on a mannequin? Their hair is terrible to work with. And then the second day was old lady shampoo roller sets, which it's a staple, but like, it's a lost art. But, the second day I was like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Like, and it's terrifying. The first time you do a haircut on somebody, you're like, oh, good. I don't know. And, my mom was my first haircut on the floor, which is, first paying customer was my mother, and she's a hairstylist, and she has thin, fine hair, and it is terrifying, but you just gotta take that leap. And even at the salon, like knowing what services to add, like, do you think it's going to be profitable? We added eyelash extensions a couple years ago. Like, that's a huge startup cost. Like, is it going to be profitable, doing this? And you just never know. It's trial and error. No matter how long you've been in business, it's always trial and error. Well,
because there isn't like a set example. Doing something the same as another salon doesn't mean that it's going to work, because you're in a different area. You have different clients. As time goes by, people want different things based on trends. There's new products. I mean, that I would say is one of the biggest areas that I struggle with my own store. Is as I get older, I feel like I'm getting less and less in touch with what are the current trends among like my clients, which would be for the most part high school, middle school kids. Not only that, but I need to order merchandise a lot of times 6 to 9 months in advance. So I'm investing a ton of money into what I'm hoping will be popular in 9 months, which is really, really difficult to do. And sometimes I blow it. Sometimes I order stuff that I'm so confident is going to work, and I end up clearancing it all and losing a bunch of money. Other times I order stuff that I'm like, oh, maybe. And then it's the biggest hit, and I wish I would have ordered 4 times as much. It's a constant struggle for sure. What are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced since becoming an owner of your salon?
Businessy things, not good at that.
Renewing leases and stuff. Do you guys lease your building or?
Yeah, we lease it. There's a lot of apartments that come with it, so it would be a huge undertaking to which we're not opposed to, but we have 2 young children. It's kind of hard, but we lease the building. Just I don't love doing tax things, payroll, that sort of thing. I leave that stuff up to my mom. So when she retires, I'm still gonna hire her to do that, because I don't like doing that. Also it's challenging, just like I was saying before, just keeping up with, we are very up to date on the trends and stuff, but just trying to decide what's going to be a hit, what's not going to be a hit. I don't do well with dealing with conflict. I don't like confrontation. That's a hard thing for me. But I feel like as I've grown, I've gotten better with that. And we don't have a lot of it. So I don't have tons of experience dealing with that. But, you have to figure out what's the best way to approach the situation. I get anxiety about oh God, this person's unhappy about this or that. And like, I have to talk to them. But, you know, it's something you learn, and any business owner, whether you like it or not, you have to learn how to do that. And it's hard when it's your friends and family as employees, or even clients. You know, sometimes you just have to lay down the law and be like, okay, like, this is what's up and this is how it's going to go, whether you like it or not. So I'd say that's one of my bigger challenges, is just, you know, having to deal with that sort of thing, because I feel like I'm a really nice person and I have a hard time with that.
Well, usually people who are like you, where you smile all the time, the kill 'em with kindness technique works a lot of the time. Obviously not all the time, because if you do that a lot, you also have the flip side where people want to take advantage of your kindness. And I find with myself anyways, if I preface what I'm saying to somebody, it tends to work. You know, if somebody's trying to take advantage, instead of just reacting or whatever, just saying, hey man, you know, honestly, what's best for my business in this, you know, moment is this because of these reasons. You know, like somebody buys a pair of shoes or something, right? And they say they just wore them at home and they want to return them because of whatever. I will then take that example and say, hey, here's the deal. I don't have a problem with it, and I know you're a good customer and I totally get it, but I can't send this back to the vendor. Like I can't resell these shoes because they're worn even a little bit. A customer realistically isn't going to buy them because they look worn. So it kind of puts me in a spot. If I accept this return, that means that I just eat the whole cost of it. So how about we try to find a solution together? And if it's like a really, really loyal customer that spent a lot of money, maybe I'll make some kind of exception. But usually I'll say like, look, I got to at least recover my cost on these shoes. So how about you pay half for a different pair of shoes or something and find a friend who wants to take these off your hands, because I can't realistically do that. And typically I think if you explain the why, again, most of the time people are gonna get it, but at the same time, nobody gets 1,000 good reviews with 0 bad ones. Right. It just doesn't happen. You're gonna have people get upset.
There's always the customer that's never happy. Luckily, I feel like we don't really have a lot of those.
No,
so
it's pretty rare, but I would shout that out. I don't usually like to ask, but I would shout that out because I think a lot of people don't really realize, but when somebody writes you a good review, like you wake up in the morning or something and get your little like Google notification while you're drinking your coffee. And even if all it said was like, the owner was at the store the other day and I felt like the service was great, I'd definitely be back. That has like a crazy, like people frequently will be like, hey, can I leave you a tip? And I'm like, no, I don't like accept tips. I just want you to enjoy your experience here. For my industry is different, obviously. But when people write a review like that, that's like the highest compliment they can give, in my opinion, anyways.
I agree 100%. It's really nice, especially being a hairstylist, when you get a shout out on, you know, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, just being like, hey, I love my hair. Amber does a great job. Or not even just for me personally, but for my employees. Like, I love to see good reviews. And when I see one on Google or whatever it is, I always make sure I like take a screenshot and I send that to my employees so they know like, hey, this person was super happy, you know, whether it be you did an awesome hair or you were just a kind, nice person, or they like the vibe or whatever, you know, it really does make you feel good. And I think, unfortunately, in the world we live in, people just focus on the negative, and it's really nice when you get the good feedback. You know, I feel like there's definitely not enough of that. So write good reviews about people, good reviews about experiences you've had, because especially for a small business, it can really do a good thing, you know?
It makes a huge difference because we don't have that kind of dollar behind us for marketing and promotion and stuff. So if somebody, you know, Googles something, which is typically how they find your business, if they don't, you know, if they're not already familiar. I know in Eau Claire, if you live there and you Google skateboard shop, I'm not the only thing that pops up. Although I am the only like real skateboarder owned shop in the area, I'm not the only thing that pops up. And if other corporate companies have a lot more money being paid through advertisements, they'll show up before me, which sucks because like I feel like I've really put in the work to show that I'm the premier shop in my area. But that's not going to show up for people that way unless I have a whole bunch of traffic online. That's just how the machine works, unfortunately. So reviews make a huge, huge difference. One thing that pretty much everybody struggles with that I guess I've talked to anyways, especially when you have kids, is the work-family balance. You know what I mean? It's really hard to balance your time when you know that, for one, you really like going to work. It's not like a chore most of the time anyways. You like going to work. For me, it's like my second hangout spot. I listen to the music that I want and hang out with customers that most of the time I know on a personal level, they're my friends. You know, I don't really mind being there all the time, but I can't be there all the time because I have 2 kids that depend on me and I want to be around for them. How do you handle the challenge of, you know, wanting to grow your business and grow your skill set and do everything that you envision with your business, but still be the mom that you want to be?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of business people struggle with that. What's nice about my career is at least I can kind of set my own hours. So, you know, I work 4 days a week, but I work long days. So I have 2 days or 3 full days at home with my kids. But you also have to realize, you know, they are looking up to you. They are seeing how happy you are. Like when I'm at work, I'm super happy. I'm happy at home too, but I love going into work. I love my coworkers. You know, I love my mom as being another owner with me. I love my clients. It's a fun place to be. It's a fun place to hang out. And I feel like you have to show your children that, you know, mom and dad can work and enjoy their work. It's not, you don't have to do a job just to get by. You can do a job that you truly love. You know, it's very hard. Every parent has the parent guilt. That's a thing.
Yeah,
but
of course, yeah.
But you know, everyone does their best. And yeah, sometimes I travel for classes and stuff, but I just think like I'm setting a good example for my children. They are seeing that you can be successful and own your own business and be happy and do something you love to do that makes you happy. And, you know, I'm not just a mom. I'm not just a business owner. I'm all of these things. And so I think it's really important to show your kids that you can do all the things and still have a beautiful family, successful business, travel, like whatever's important to you priority wise. It's a good thing to show your kids how. And I'm very lucky. I have a very supportive husband who is like, hey, yeah, go for it. If you want to do this, do it if it makes you happy. And I have very supportive parents. Obviously, I work with my mom, but she also watches my kids 2 days a week, and my parents do. And so they're very much like, okay, if you want to go travel and do this class or whatever, we will help you guys out. So I think it's, you know, and friends as well. So you have to have a very good support network of friends and family and stuff that can help you pursue what you want to do. But you need that. I feel like that's a huge thing to be able to do what you want to do and balance that, have that home work balance.
I think if you can find that balance, then it's fantastic, because
it's a hard thing.
You can incorporate your kids in the business. Like I saw you dyed both your kids' hair, even though they're super young. I'm sure.
3 and 5.
Yeah.
Just little pieces.
Well, yeah.
I'm a parent that every other parent hates because their kids want that. But,
right.
Hey.
Well, then you're the cool parent. Yeah. But one of the other cool things is, since you can be flexible with your hours, yes, you have to reap what you sow, and whatever the consequences are of you taking the day off, you have to deal with them, because you can't necessarily have somebody take your place in all these different situations. But you don't have to get approval by a boss either. Anything that is really important to you to be at, you can just schedule that available for yourself, you know, and having that flexibility, I think, allows you to be around in the really important times and, you know, work maybe more than the average person, but on times that make a little bit more sense to do so. Plus, when, like you said, when you're going to work and you're enjoying it, you always got to think about, how are you setting an example for your kids? And a lot of people I see setting, I guess I don't want to be that parent that's judging, but, you know, if the parent is all about money, right, the kids typically end up growing up thinking only about money and have no idea that this whole other world of a career exists, that they can totally be themselves and they can make a living doing it. And making a living doesn't mean making a lot. And you might make a lot, that would be great, but enjoying what you do and making enough, at least to myself, is a lot more important.
I agree 100%.
So what are a couple of your favorite memories that you've had throughout your career that you wouldn't have had if you didn't take your career so seriously?
Well, I've had a lot of really interesting, fun things. I've met a lot of really interesting, fun people, traveled for work. But I would say probably one of the most creative, fun things I've done was I met a hairstylist through somebody I went to high school with that worked at Salon Centric, which is one of our suppliers. And she's like, you should meet my friend Michelle. She does this avant-garde, like really cool runway show thing with performers and different music, and you make all your own costumes and repurpose. Like everything's repurposed. She doesn't want you spending money. You do really cool makeup and hair, and there's different themes or whatever. So I was like, all right. So I went to this, they interview you. So I went to this interview and I was like, hey, you know, I'd like to help out with this. You know, I it's a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I'm willing to, I'm pretty creative, but I'd never done anything. So I was like, okay, I really didn't know what to expect. And the theme was burlesque, and I was like, oh, okay. So anyways, so I went to this and interviewed to help do hair and makeup, mainly hair though, for the show. And I also found out they're looking for models. Well, I'm definitely not like the model, like typical model.
You're too beautiful.
So, yeah, okay. But anyways, so they want all sorts of different ages, body types, gender, blah, blah, blah. And I was pregnant at the time. So I said, well, I'm going to be 8 months pregnant during the show. Do you want a pregnant model? And Michelle was like, oh my God, yes. Like if you could give birth on stage, that would be amazing. Oops. Which was funny. I was like, Anyways, the show is called Emergence of Spirit, and it took place in an old warehouse in Dubuque. And it was just awesome. I got to help make all these amazing headpieces and meet all these amazing hairstylists and makeup artists and just do this super fun show as well as be in it. And I'm super pregnant wearing this like toga thing with crazy hair and makeup, and my belly showing, and there's like a bird nest painted on my belly with eggs in it. It was super cool. It was just a very moving experience that really got me even more interested in learning more about theatrical makeup, Halloween makeup, just going to hair shows and doing this crazy stuff, because it's just your creativity is like on overdrive, and it's awesome. Like I'm just so thankful.
I think the funny thing is when if you tell somebody like, how was your day at work? And then you explain that for your work day, that's what you did. Like, what the f***?
Yeah, no,
you know,
for
and
real.
It's the cool thing is we could talk about experiences like this forever, because crazy experiences happen all the god time, super often. It's not once every 5 years. It's all the time that we're getting like involved in. Like the other day, I sponsored a stand-up comedy show. So I got to get up on the show with the MC while he was using his soundboard, like introducing me like womp, 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 and give away stuff. Like,
cool. Yeah.
Rad. I had a great time, probably had too many beers because they were on the house, and that was my job that evening. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
But I've had a ton of experiences. One I want to share that was just kind of meaningful to me anyways was it's kind of like a recognition thing, I guess, but I've been into skateboarding since I was like 10. That was always my main thing. And I've done, gotten into some other hobbies now, but skateboarding has just been this big thing for me. And I remember driving to the cities as like a little kid, or my mom driving me, I should say, and waiting in line to get autographs from pros and stuff was like such a big deal to me. Well, not long after I opened my shop, this pro skateboarder, his name's Steve Nesser. He used to be professional skateboarder for Birdhouse, which is Tony Hawk's company, for a long time. And I had seen him in videos and stuff, and he's pretty well known, but he lives in the cities, Minneapolis metro area, and he owns Familia Skateboard Shop, which is pretty highly respected. Well, anyway, shortly after I opened my shop, him and another pro skateboarder, Tabari Cook, actually drove all the way to my store. And it was just wild. Like, they showed up at my store with boards to deliver. They both signed boards to the shop, and they just hung out for like an hour.
So cool.
Just asking me about the store and just saying like, man, this is a really cool spot, just showing me like they respect what I'm doing, and getting that kind of recognition from somebody that to me is like a superstar. Like as a little kid, if I knew that was going to happen in my lifetime, I'd be like giggling, so excited. And I got to have that experience because I did something I cared about. If I just met him because I was selling insurance or something, then it would have been whatever. But the fact that he drove all the way out of his way specifically to see something that I did was such a cool moment for me that you just don't have in other types of careers.
I agree 100%. It's cool. Like, granted, social media can get a bit crazy, but
it gets really crazy.
Even when I post different stuff I do and you get like a like or a share from like a big company or somebody you really respect in your industry, or even just other hairstylists that know how much time and effort you spent doing this look, it's very, very rewarding when people say like, hey, you did that and that is amazing. It just makes you feel so good. I mean, even just being called out as like, I can tell your hairstylist is cool. Like, I was in Tampa for a hair show with my cousin, and we were just, we're just sitting outside at a hookah lounge, and this guy walks past and he's like, hey, turns around, comes back, are you guys hairstylists? We're like, yeah. He's like, I'm a barber. I live here, but I want to get your Instagram information and stuff. You guys look like legit or whatever.
Yeah.
Because the colored hair and tattoos and piercings, whatever. Yeah. And so anyways, like he started following us on Instagram and vice versa. And it's awesome because he found out we were both going to be color educators for our color company. And he's like, hey, I'm a barber, but I want to get into trying hair color and stuff. And I would love to fly up to Wisconsin. Like, we're just people he literally met on the street, and he's like, wow, your stuff's really great. I would love to fly up to Wisconsin and have you guys teach a class or whatever. I mean, I haven't done that yet, but it's just really awesome knowing that people really respect your work. And, somebody, especially in the same field as you, you're like, wow, like, this is so cool. It's just very, very rewarding.
That's one of the funny things I thought was exclusive to skateboarding, was this thing where you travel around and I see, I meet other people who skate. I see them at the park or something. And I have this like instant respect and like friendship for them because I understand how hard they work to get to, the skill level that they're at or whatever. There's just like this mutual bond. But I think that's really with any industry where you have a lot of passion for it and it's not money driven. You're doing it not because of the money. And when you've been doing it for a while, you recognize other people that have put in that much work as well. And there's just that mutual respect. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I had, it's crazy, but it's crazy to outside people, I guess. Within skateboarding anyways, everybody seems to understand. But I have a friend, his name's Jack. Shout out to Jack. I can't even pronounce his last name. Whatever. He's the man. But he came to visit his girlfriend. He's from Glasgow, Scotland. He came to visit his girlfriend that he met online. This was years ago through like a music website. And she happened to live in Eau Claire. So him being a skateboard rat, he came into my shop looking to buy like a shop t-shirt to bring back home and hung out for like 3 hours bullshitting with me because we just like clicked. It was so rad. And then 2 years later, I bought a plane ticket and went and visited him. And he showed me all over Scotland. You know what I mean? And I just trusted like, I can just stay with it. And not only that, but he was like 6-7 years younger than me. So and it would seem weird to anybody else.
People think it's crazy.
Yeah, but it's just such a cool connection that like I have that everywhere. And I'm looking forward to that when I know I'm going to Florida and California this winter. And I'm looking forward to visiting the other shops because I know I'm going to make friends at all those other places too. Yeah,
people think it's crazy. They're like, you just met these people at this hair show for like 2 days. And I'm like, yeah, we're practically best friends. I feel like when you're in an industry that everyone is super passionate and you don't just become a hairstylist because you want to make money. Like that's not, you do it because you love being around people, making connections with people, being creative, all that stuff. So you meet somebody and I feel like you can instantly click. And I mean, I could travel all over the United States and stay with people easily, people that I've met once or twice, but you just have this instant connection, whether it be hairstylists or even just people in my chair come in and they sit down and I've just become such great friends with them, whether it be, we like to party together, hang out, or people that come in and they have no one else to talk to. And, I have a client that comes in and she cries like almost every time she's in because she has no one else to talk to. And I'm her one source of comfort and I can listen to her and give my feedback, but it's a very awesome feeling. And I feel like a lot of careers, they do not have that. And I feel sad for people that have jobs that they just do to make money and they don't care. Like to me, I could not ever do that. I don't know. It's amazing. I'm just so incredibly fortunate.
I think it's different with people like us versus like you hear it all the time where people are like, oh, I hate people. You're like, you hate people. Well, I think where it comes from, and maybe this is just clicking with me right now as I'm like talking to you about it, but I think we like people because all the people we deal with are like-minded people that we enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, people don't go to your store. They know it's yours, right? They don't go to your salon to be an asshole. They chose to come to you because they like you. And same way with my store. Like, people don't come in pissed off. I mean, maybe once in a really great while, but usually when people come in, they're like, hey, Chris, how you been? What's up? What's new with you? And I'm like, I love people. Everyone's my friend. How do I have so many friends? You know, it's different for us because we have that versus if you work at a bank, like you work with ornery people all the time. You probably don't want to hang out with people anymore.
The bank workers come down and hang out with us at our salon.
Exactly. And bring you coffee and bring you.
Oh my God. We get like, I think last week on Tuesday, we got like 3 or 4 different gifts, like not me specifically, but, our clients are like, here's some donuts, here's coffee, here's cheesecake. Like, Jesus, this is so awesome. It makes me happy. And friends, my friends, other people's friends, college students, they'll come in and just hang out like at a hair salon. What are you doing? They're not getting their hair done. They're just hanging out because it's a fun place to be. And we're fun people. You know, we try to have that salon that we are definitely can be super professional, but we also like to be, you know, fun, low key. You know, we like to joke around. We all get to know each other's clients. Everyone feels comfortable. And that's the kind of business I like to have. I don't want something stuffy. You know, I want someone that if you're not going to be able to be sarcastic and joke around, we're probably not the place for you. But I don't want those people in my business. Like, I want people that want to laugh and have fun and feel good about themselves.
I have a term for that. I call it cool guying people. Yeah. I hate going to a place where I feel like I'm not respected enough to be there. Like, I don't know enough, or I'm not part of the cool kids crowd. But most of the time when you go to a local place like my place or your place, of course you're going to be welcome and you're going to be treated with respect. And I want to have fun while I'm at work. You're at my place of employment. Let's have fun. Why not? You know, I have customers come in and sometimes I'm like painting a pot, or I'm taking a dumb little Instagram selfie or something, and I'm pulling them into the picture. Like, let's take photos together. Or I just got a product in it. I'm like, you want to be a model for 5 seconds? And they're like, what? I'm like, dude, I'll put a cool song to it. It'll be sweet. I'll shout you out on the gram. They're like, sick. You know what I mean? It just becomes like this really unique experience. Well, anyway, so I feel like we've covered a lot, but what's next for you moving forward?
What's next for me? I would say just continue learning, because the industry is always changing. There's always new products coming out. There's new techniques coming out. There's new trends. Obviously, we talked about the mullet earlier. Like, things come and go. You know, the rainbow hair is like, coloring is my specialty. That's what I really, really love doing. But I do everything. So, you know, I'm learning. We recently got a stylist. Well, not recently, like 2 years ago. And she knows how to do straight razor shaves. So guess who's learning how to do straight razor shaves? Yeah, it's kind of terrifying. But, you know, just keeping the business growing as far as not having more businesses, but keeping my clients happy with new trends, new techniques, keeping my employees happy, learning new things, just making it a fun and amazing place to work, you know, having a good family there. You know, also, I want to know all the things. I want to know all the knowledge. So with going to the instructor's training, learning in depth about our color line, how to teach the color, how to teach my employees how to do it, you know, that sort of thing. I want to be a really great teacher, something I've kind of struggled with because I'm definitely a super creative person. So I'm, as far as explaining technical things to other employees, especially new ones I'm training, that's been a struggle for me. So I'm learning how to better teach my employees how to get the creative part of their brain flowing and push them out of their comfort zone. We all have to be pushed, even myself. There's things I'm just terrified and I'm like, I don't really want to do that. But if I'm making my employees do it, I have to do it too. So basically my career is just keep working at the salon, maybe someday travel around, be on stage. That'd be my ultimate like fantasy goal. But that'd be down the road when the kids are a little bit older. That's not something I need to do right now. But right now, just kind of make the best on my salon, make it an awesome place, make my employees really love what they do. And, you know, that's all I can really ask for.
Well, yeah, I would say the same thing with myself. I don't want to open more stores, making more money. Sure, if I made more, cool, but I make as much as I need to at the moment. I, for me, want to keep growing the community that's around me and become this established, respected, enjoyed place. I want to create memories with a lot of these kids that when they grow up, they're like, that place was so rad. I'm so stoked that place was around. And I've been seeing it, 5.5 years in business isn't a crazy long time, but that's long enough that kids that were in middle school are now in college. You know what I mean?
Wait.
And they're
just wait.
Yeah. You get to see that. Like,
try doing it for 13 years.
Well, I'm on my way. Well, I like to end every episode with a little piece of advice. And this, I think, really, my piece of advice anyways, goes back to what we were just talking about. But would you like me to go first, or would you like to go first?
Oh, I think you can go first.
Okay. Here's my advice for this episode. Since I've been on a bit of a trip of this for the last while, be creative, be yourself. When you feel the urge to create something new, don't let the embarrassment of what others think impair you. Go for it. Create while the juices are flowing. People will be able to feel and see the emotion you put into your work. Don't sell yourself short just because you're afraid of what others may think.
Can I steal that from you?
You can piggyback on it.
Took the words right out of my mouth, really. Especially in the type of industry I'm in, you have to go out of your comfort zone. It's a hard road, A lot of people are like, oh, I'll go to hair school. It's going to be so easy. Like, no, it's not. It seems easy because when you really love it, it does look easy. When you just stand around and talk all day. So yeah, I do that. But I also, it's emotionally and physically a hard job. But you have to get past, you got to keep pushing yourself. Like, it will get better. You start off and you're like, wow, this is hard. I don't have a clientele. Like, why would somebody want to come back to me? I'm not that good. I take forever. But you keep pushing yourself. And once you get past that point, I just remember one day I was at work and I did all the things. Like, I did haircuts and stuff. And I got done and I was like, wow, that really just came natural to me. I didn't have to concentrate and think about it so much. And this is awesome. And it's like a light bulb turns on. You're like, wow, I can really do this. So, to me, my advice would be to just keep learning, keep pushing yourself out of the box. I mean, you don't have to do anything crazy. Just keep believing that you can do it and get a good network of people around you to help you realize your potential and keep cheering you on. Don't sell yourself short. Like what you said, people are going to want you to give things away for free and do all this and that. You got to believe that you can do it, and you have to see your worth, and you need to charge what you're worth, and just keep making yourself better, because honestly, in this type of career, it's always growing and changing. You're going to limit your own self because there is no limit to what you can do nowadays. Just keep pushing and you will do it and you'll love it. You'll do it and you'll love it.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Passion Pod. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you soon.